always take me to the side, give me a hug, some extra candy, and say, "It's okay, honey. You're okay. You're with me. I'll keep you safe from those mothers." That was him. He was a good man. He was kind. He always had a good word, a hug, and he made me feel important. A little girl. He would always ask me how school was, how my life was, and have the biggest hug. You know, I'm lucky. I have a wonderful father and a wonderful mother, but I really never had many uncles. I come from a family of aunts and not many uncles. But family is really your friends. Your friends are your family, true and true. Mr. Huie was the uncle that I never had, and he meant the world to me. And I'm so sorry, Dave. We will miss him. He was a lovely person, and he brought you into this world, my first friend. I love you.
To wish, you okay, David? I'm here for you. And a light bulb went off. Why don't we ask him to speak? He said, I just came to say, how's David? And now he's over. And he was going out the door and he said, thank you.
How are you doing? I was supposed to write something down, and every time I tried to write, I pick up a pencil, drop it down. Pick up a pen, drop it down. Never knowing where to start. But I realized, it's all in memory, and it's all everything that I had to live with David and his family. Because when we were growing up, 229th Street was the best place to be. We had the best block parties, we had the best people, everybody was family. We played baseball all the time. We played baseball so much, people started telling us, don't play baseball in front of my house, because I had a habit of breaking windows, denting cars with the ball, And, Mr. Huie sat there, he didn't really say much, he just would watch me, and, okay, maybe I could go down the block this time, And what I remember about Mr. Huie is, he was always sophisticated. He had a way about himself, and you watch how he came home. When we played baseball, we would be in the way a lot of times because he had to pull the car in the driveway, so we had to stop the game, pull in the driveway. And we stopped and we just watched how he got out the car, walked up to the steps, said hello to his family, and greeted them. And when you're young, and you're a young boy, you always want to see a man somewhere. You're always looking to see what it's like to be a man. His father was a great example to us about what a man should be like. And all I can say is, you always want, when you buy, let's say you want to go to the store and you buy fruit, you always judge the fruit by where it came from. And Mr. Huie was the tree that David came from. And you look at David and he said, that's good fruit. So it had to have good root, good tree, good soil. There was something there that he planted, and he made sure it grew up straight, grew up proud, dignity, and a lot of love. And that's what we got when we watched Mr. Huie. We watched Mr. Huie, remember, David came out with a baseball uniform, and none of us had baseball uniforms, but David had one. And we were like, man, we wish we had a baseball uniform. He had a bat and he had a glove. I was like, man, we wanted that. And we started looking at David, and David may not realize this, we were proud of him. He's the only one on the block to have a baseball uniform, to be in a baseball team where people gather around you and say, hey, you're part of a team. And David doesn't realize this. He was one of the people on our team, our Bad News Bears, we used to call ourselves. You know, he was one of the people on the team that was able to keep us together. You know, we put him on second base or first base or pitcher. Said, Dave, do this. We said, you think he's gonna handle it? Just be quiet. Just he'll do it. Ball gets ripped to him, David grabs it. How did he do that? Did he have the ball? Sometimes he didn't even think he had the ball. But every game, David came up with it. And David taught us, you know something? You don't give up. You don't give up. That's what we learned from our life. That's what we learned from David. And I know his father taught him that. Don't give up. Continue to feed into something. Continue to water it. Continue to let it grow into something amazing. And that's what I see with David, Mrs. Huie, his whole family. I've seen Lenny, Erica, they were amazing family. We looked from afar, we said, wow, that's an amazing family. A lot of people wanted that, and a lot of people were able to get that. But we got to stand there, and we got to see it for ourselves. It was just something. And I just like to say, you know, the Hueys always been good to me, amazing family. I love them, and I will always love them. And I'm sorry for your loss, but your father will always be here, and we see your father in you, David. The love for how he showed you, everything that he's given you, that's who you are. I just want to say thank you for having me as a friend.
If anybody asks you where I'm going soon. If you wanna know where I'm
All right, there is, a time that if somebody wants to say something, this is the time before Alexa Hente takes the mic. And if not, here we go.
Hey, put your mask on. Put your mask on.
No, it's okay.
Okay, it's okay.
He's up there by himself. I can take it off.
Good evening, everybody.
Then you can take it off. It's hard to, yeah, take it off. It's hard to talk with you.
I first want to thank everyone for coming during these crazy times. It's times like this that you see how blessed you are to have friends, and friends that are like family. Just so I know, like, my family's very small now. You know, I lost my brother, lost my sister, lost all my grandparents, lost everybody. So, you know, a lot of you here are my family. So I'm thankful for that.
We love you, Dave.
You know, I do things a little different, so I gave out my tools, just keep them in your wallet, got my dad's name on it, and think about him whenever you see it. It's all good. When I think of my dad, I think about how I always tell my friends that the generation before us was so much more sophisticated. By that I meant, I remember them wearing shoes and going to work and just dealing with life in a more serious manner. Even now at 50, I have a conversation with them, and like with Brandon and Layton and many of you in here, and I'm like, there's no way in life my father acted like this when he was 40. I need help, like, I didn't see it, like, I just didn't see it, so it was real interesting. So when I think of my dad, he was absolutely amazing. He left Cuba at 16. He visited his dad until Castro took over, and then he never saw his father again. He was part of the cool crew in high school. They shared cars. I remember stories about it was amazing how they got along. It reminded me of like Grease or something, like they used to deal with stuff. And he was a great dancer. He was in the Korean War. He had swag that you could see from his pictures. Like it was just something special about him. Shoot, he was swaggy enough to get my mom. I was never disappointed at Christmas. He taught me the hustle of life and how to take chances, but never go too far. My dad was not a straight and narrow guy. I mean, he would bring home things from the airport that fell off the truck, like everyone else. I had every Nintendo game they made because they were one of his clients. I had the best Italian shoes for church because they were one of his clients. My sister would wear $1,000 dresses to Hillcrest High School, and no one even knew it. I was always amazed at how my sister had the confidence to wear them to high school. Needless to say, she won best dressed in the school. He raised 3 kids with my mom during one of the hardest times in recent history, due to the culture of wanting things and the crack era. My brother was my hero. I looked like him and I wanted to be him. He gave my parents a hard time. But you know what? He went to college and he was a positive to the world before his early death. My father received many mentions this week, and everyone said that he was loved and he was valued. I could actually go on for days telling you stories about the amazing man, but I will leave it at this. Ultimately, a man's job is to be a positive to the earth and take care of his loved ones. My dad did just that. I'm glad that I had a chance to tell him that, and I really hope and pray he's sitting with my brother and sister right now, and Erica says, "Look at Unc. You know he hates talking in front of crowds, but he's doing you all right there." I salute you, Leonard George Huie Jr. I love you. God bless.
We're gonna close with just the music, but this is the end of the program. And we sincerely want to thank you because every person in this room has known Len and been a part of his life in some way. And I think that by all of you sitting there, it has done justice to his legacy, David. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. God has spoken, so let the church say amen. Oh, let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. My God has spoken. Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. My God has spoken. Let the church, God has spoken. Let the church, God has spoken. So let the church say amen.
I know, I thought about those.